Tell me the last time you heard a doctor talking publicly about how healthcare should be spent. It always seems that it's being dictated to us. These are things that we need to deal with, and these are the conversations that were not had in that discussion. So we have to understand Gary Stevenson. So he is someone who is outside of now the private world of investing, whereas Daniel Priestley is someone who is in the world of entrepreneurship. So naturally, they're going to clash. Gary Stevenson is calling for higher taxes, whereas Daniel Priestley is saying this is going to inhibit growth and inhibit business enterprise. Now, I think we also need to look in the middle of all this is the public sector, because they really just focused within the private sector, I felt. I think we need to talk more and have more of an input from the public sector in these debates about taxes. Tell me the last time you heard a doctor talking publicly about how healthcare should be spent. It always seems that it's being dictated to us. Now, I think what Gary was saying is that private enterprise has built a top-heavy structure. And as a result, I want to add here what I think that has done, potentially, that has eroded away public service and public structures.
The average British family can barely afford to feed the kids and turn the heating on. So why are you going to start a business here when the customers are absolutely impoverished?
Daniel Priestley is pro-enterprise. He is pro-business.
The overall government has to be smaller.
He is for deregulation, and it was interesting what he had to say about Trump. He said, let's watch and wait. What that model will then lead to is further privatization of the NHS. You might already be surprised when you get your appointment to a physio, which is not in the NHS, but it's under a private provider working for the NHS. When you get your scan result or your scan, it's not being done or interpreted by someone working for the NHS. It could be a doctor or a radiographer sat anywhere around the world doing these things, who's then working under the NHS. Slowly but surely, that system we had beforehand is being eroded away. I'm not making a judgment on that. That's for another conversation. But I do want you to understand that what's happening as a result of this is public services are being eroded away. And that, to be honest, should be no surprise. How long does it take you to see your doctor? How long are you waiting to see a specialist? These are things that we need to deal with. And these are the conversations that were not had in that discussion.
The overall government has to be smaller.
Okay.
You can't, whoever's
so what do you want to cut in the government?
If you, yeah, well, I mean, you'd have to...
Child services?
We'd have to, no.
Police?
No.
Education?
No,
NHS?
I didn't know what Gary's plan further is other than taxing the ultra-rich, but the practicality of it is the ultra-rich will just move their money. Quite a few times Daniel said that, and he even indicated himself that he may do that. Now, I think Daniel was talking about being an entrepreneur, set up a business, which is great. That's going to lead directly into the privatization of the NHS. Along with it comes the mental health stresses, etc. But what I'm really saying to you is, I think there were parts of the conversation that they did not have about how impacting taxes, etc., is going to fund the NHS. I think they both made good points. However, I think we need to think deeper about what they're saying, because some of the solutions that were being offered by Gary, I don't think are feasible. Furthermore, I think the discussion about privatization and just funding businesses is good within a limit, but then we need to ask ourselves, is that what we want?